Good morning, boys. This is Teacher Ziad, and today we're going to do a reading lesson. The story that we're doing today is quite long, so I'm breaking this up into two sessions or into two different lessons. So half of the story will be read now, and half of the story in the second video. So this video will be half of the story coupled with a vocabulary activity, and the next one will be coupled with a comprehension. So this week's story, which is week 11, is called Me and Uncle Romy. This is the fifth and final story in Unit 5 of our stories for this unit. And this story is written by Clay Harfield and is illustrated by Jerome Lagery. The genre of the story is historical fiction. Basically, this means it is set in the past. The word historical means something that has happened a long time ago. So some of the details are factual, meaning that some of the details in the story are true, and there are other parts of the story which is made up. It doesn't mean that it's not true, but it just isn't factual. And you can keep your eye out for any factual details as we read. And then the question of the week, how does city life compare to life in the country? So in the story, the main character is from a little town called North Carolina, and he goes to visit his uncle Romy in New York City, which is like a vibrant city and very metropolitan. So as we read along, you can try and jot down the differences between his home and New York City. Let's get started. It was the summer Mama had the twins that I first met my Uncle Romy. The doctor had told Mama she had to stay off her feet till the babies got born. Daddy thought it was a good time for me to visit Uncle Romy and his wife Aunt Nanette up north in New York City. But I wasn't sure. Mama had told me that Uncle Romy was some kind of artist and he didn't have any kids. I'd seen his picture too. He looked scary, a bald-headed, fierce-eyed giant. No, I wasn't sure about this visit at all. The day before I left home was a regular North Carolina summer day. A good train watching day, my friend PJ said. We waited quietly in the grass beside the tracks. PJ heard it first. It's coming, he said. Then I heard it too. A low rumbling building to a roar. Woo-hoo! The Piedmont! We shouted as the train blasted past. I'm the greatest train watcher ever, boasted PJ. Yeah, I answered, but tomorrow I'll be riding a train. I'm the lucky one. Lucky, I thought as we headed home. Maybe. That evening I packed my suitcase. Voices drifted up from the porch below. Romy's got that big art show coming up, Mama said quietly. I hope he's not too busy for James, especially on his birthday. Romy's a good man, Daddy replied, and Nanette'll be there too. The light faded. Mama called me into her bedroom. Where's my goodnight kiss? She said. I curled up next to her. I'll miss the way you make my birthday special, Mama, your lemon cake and the baseball game. Well, Mama sighed, it won't be those things, but Uncle Romy and Aunt Nanette are family, and they love you too. It'll still be a good birthday, honey. Mama pulled me close, her voice sang soft and low. Later, in my own bed, I listened as crickets began their song and continued into the night. The next morning, I hugged Mama goodbye, and Daddy and I headed for the train. He got me seated, then stood waving at me from the outside. I held tight to the jar of pepper jelly Mama had given me for Uncle Romy. All aboard! The conductor's voice cracked over the loudspeaker. The train pulled away. Chugga 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 chugga. I watched my town move past my window, bright-colored houses, chickens strutting across yards, and flowers everywhere. After a while I felt hungry. Daddy had packed me a lunch and a dinner to eat one at a time. I ate almost everything at once. Then my belly felt tight and I was kind of sleepy. I closed my eyes and dreamed about Mama and Daddy getting ready for those babies. Would they even miss me? Later, when I woke up, I ate the last bit of my dinner and thought about my birthday. Would they make my lemon cake and take me to a baseball game in New York? The sky turned from dark blue to black. I was getting sleepy all over again. We're almost there, son, the man next to me said. Then I saw it, New York City. Buildings stretching up high into the sky, so close together, not like North Carolina at all. Penn Station. Watch your step, the conductor said, helping me down to the platform. I did like Daddy said and found a spot for myself close to the train. Swarms of people rushed by. Soon I heard a silvery voice call my name. This had to be Aunt Nanette. I turned and saw her big smile reaching out to welcome me. She took my hand and guided me through the rushing crowds onto an underground train called the subway. This will take us right home, she explained. Home was like nothing I'd ever seen before. No regular houses anywhere. Just big buildings and stores of all kinds. The windows I saw paints, fabrics, radios, and TVs. We turned into the corner building and climbed the stairs to the apartment. 5 whole flights up. Phew! I tried to catch my breath while Aunt Nanette flicked on the lights. Uncle Romy's out talking to some people about the big art show that's coming up. He'll be home soon, Aunt Nanette said. She set some milk and a plate of cookies for me on the table. Your uncle's working very hard, so we won't see much of him for a while. His workroom, we call it his studio, is in the front of our apartment. That's where he keeps all the things he needs to make his art. Doesn't he just paint? I asked. Uncle Romy is a collage artist, Aunt Nanette explained. He uses paints, yes, but also photographs, newspapers, cloth. He cuts and pastes them onto a board to make his paintings. That sounds kind of easy, I said. Aunt Nanette laughed. Well, there's a little more to it than that, James. When you see the paintings, you'll understand. Come, let's go. Let's get you to bed. Lying in the dark, I heard heavy footsteps in the hall. A giant stared at me from the doorway. Hello there, James. Uncle Romy's voice was deep and loud, like thunder. Thanks for the pepper jelly, he boomed. You have a good sleep now. Then he disappeared down the hall. The next morning, the door to Uncle Romy's studio was closed, but Aunt Nanette had plans for us both. Today, we're going to a neighborhood called Harlem, she said. It's where Uncle Romy lived as a boy. Harlem was full of people walking, working, shopping, eating. Some were watching the going-ons from fire escapes. Others were sitting out on stoops greeting folks who passed by, just like the people back home calling out hellos from their front porches. Most everybody seemed to know Aunt Nanette. A lot of them asked after Uncle Romy too. We bought peaches at the market, then stopped to visit a while. I watched some kids play stickball. Go on, get in that game, Aunt Nanette said, gently pushing me over to join them. When I was all hot and sweaty, we cooled off with double chocolate scoops from the ice cream man. Later, we shared some barbecue on a rooftop way up high. I felt like I was on top of the world. As the days went by, Aunt Nanette took me all over the city. We rode a ferry boat to the Statue of Liberty, zoomed 102 floors up at the Empire State Building, window shopped the fancy stores on Fifth Avenue, gobbled hot dogs in Central Park. But it was Harlem that I liked best. I played stickball with the kids again. And on a really hot day, a whole bunch of us ran through the icy cold water that sprayed out hard from the fire hydrant. In the evenings, Aunt Nanette and I sat outside listening to the street musicians playing their saxophones. I will stop on this page, boys. This is page 338, and we will continue on page 340 in the next video with the comprehension. So I'm going to just stop the share over here, and then I'm going to bring up the Readers and Writers Notebook for the vocabulary. So let me just open that up and then whisk past this over here and then bring up the vocabulary lesson. There we go. Let me just make it slightly bigger. There we go. So in any story, like, for any week, we have our high frequency words or our vocabulary words every week that's coupled with our story or linked to our story. Here are 8 words this week, and the words are as follows: flights, fierce, stoops, treasure, picture, feast, ruined, and cardboard. So the word flights here doesn't refer to an aeroplane flight. It refers to a flight of steps. So we say that there is one flight of stairs between 2 floors. So remember, at school, you have to walk up the steps to get to your classroom. So you walk up one flight of stairs to get to your classroom because you're only going up one level. The word fierce means angry or scary. Stoops is like a porch in front of someone's house. It's like a little raised platform in front of the house that you can sit on. Treasure, something valuable. A pitcher, here it's referring to a baseball game. A pitcher is a person in a baseball game that throws the ball to the person who's going to hit it. A feast is a whole lot of food. Ruined, when something gets damaged or spoiled, that's when it gets ruined. So for example, if I have a sandwich and it gets and falls on the floor, my sandwich is ruined, because then I can't eat it because it had fallen on the floor. And then cardboard. Most of the boxes that we get our shoes in, or boxes that we get things in, is made of cardboard. So that's cardboard. From number 1 to number 5, we have to read the sentence and fill in the missing word. At the bottom of each word, I'm just going to get out my little pointer. Here we go. So at the bottom of each number, each sentence, we have two words. Here we have the word picture and we have the word treasure. So we have to choose one of these words to put in each of these here. So our teams struck out everyone. So that must be someone who throws a ball. So if you remember the word, put it in. Number 2, my neighbors needed repairs to the broken stairs. So like I said, there's something that's a raised platform in front of your house, and if something is raised, you either need to jump onto it or climb steps to get on it. What is that? Number 3, after my aunt discovered the chest in the attic, she found a, what did she find in the chest? Number 4, my grandmother made us a special for my birth, for the holidays, either flights or feast. Number 5, I walked up 3 of stairs, treasure or flights. Number 6 to number 10, you have to write the word from the box that completes each sentence. So now that you know the meanings of each of these words, you'll be able to slot them in each sentence very nicely. I'm just going to pop over to the next screen where you'll find your answers. So over here, our team's pitcher struck out everyone, because a pitcher is someone who throws a ball. My neighbor's stoops needed repairs to the broken stairs. After my aunt discovered the chest in the attic, she found treasure. My grandmother made us a special feast, lots of yummy, yummy food. I walked up 3 flights of stairs. And then number 6, the lion looked very fierce when it growled, so the lion looked very angry or very scary. Number 7, we packed the books in a cardboard box. Remember I said boxes are made of cardboard. Number 8, I ate so much at the feast that I'm not hungry now. The cake was ruined when she dropped it on the floor. So obviously it got damaged. So damaged is a synonym for the word ruined. And then number 10, the ring from my grandmother is something to keep as a treasure. So the ring is something valuable, so it is treasure. So that is the lesson for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you for the next video with the rest of the reading lesson and the comprehension.